even greater woman. So thank you to our ambassador today, the lovely Lorraine Rainey Ford. Good afternoon, everyone. Of course, it goes without saying that I owe an awful lot of thanks, everything in fact, to the guys, the wonderful guys here at HOPE Sussex. What a fantastic festival it's been so far. And I want to say thank you so much to you guys. This community means so much to me and Jess. Truly inspiring people, full of talent, full of energy, the home of positive energy, hope. That's what this place is, and we are so honoured and grateful that you allowed us to piggyback on your wonderful festival. It's absolutely amazing. Thank you so much, guys. We love you so much. And can I just say to anybody, this community runs on donations and events. So please keep coming to the events and keep donating. You can donate at hopesussex.co.uk. And it will keep the lights on, okay? Because there is no outside government funding for this place. This is about free souls. This is about education. This is about a community that are filled with love and positive energy. So thank you again to you guys. You are truly amazing. You really are. I also want to give a huge shout out to all the incredible volunteers as well that have given up their time and energy and made this event possible. This wouldn't everyone from the marshals to the toilet cleaners to the food servers to everybody. You are truly amazing, and this would not be possible without you. So I thank you too, and a huge round of applause to all the volunteers. Incredible event.
I like the way.
Of course, I also want to thank this wonderful band, wherever the rest of them are. Victorious, what a fantastic group of people, beautiful souls, incredibly talented, and we are so honoured that they agreed to play the music for us here today. Not just the intro and the outro, but also they'll be playing our first dance as a married couple fairly soon. So thank you guys, we love you so much. You are so full of talent. And I'd just like to say also, the lead singer, Jake here, Jake Fern, what an incredible artist this man is. Please do, afterwards, come and see Jake or Vicky and purchase some raffle tickets. All the proceeds go to HOPE Sussex, again, to keep the lights on, £2 a ticket. And you can win a fantastic prize of a sitting for a portrait with Jake, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right? Yeah. You don't have to sit. You can. Don't move about too much because it will come out a bit shaky. But thank you guys so much. It's been amazing coming up to your rehearsals, watching you. It's been like having my own private concert every week. It's been fantastic. Truly, truly inspiring. Truly, truly talented. I love you. I love you so much. Thank you. And of course, thank you to all you wonderful people that have travelled from many miles around different countries, some of you, and come to witness our fantastic display of love for my beautiful Jess. My now beautiful wife, should I say. By the way, I mean she's now my wife. I don't mean she was looking a bit ropey before. I don't want to end up in a quick divorce. So, of course, thank you to all of you wonderful, inspiring people. Of course, again, without you guys, this wouldn't be possible. We would just be playing to ourselves. So, thank you all. But of course, the person I owe the most thanks to is, of course, my beautiful wife, Jess. Me and Jess got together back in 2003, the 4th of May, Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you. And of course, that made anniversaries a lot easier to remember. So I'd highly recommend it if you're planning on getting married. Pick a day that's easy to remember. Don't go with Easter, that changes every bloody year. It's a nightmare. So we got together whilst working at the Birch Hotel in Haywards Heath. Me as the barman and Jess as the gorgeous young receptionist. Of course, I had no idea that Jess had eyes for me until one day I was approached at the bar by our duty manager, who came bounding along with the biggest grin on her face, which was quite a shock because she was a miserable cow. So it was quite nice to see. She came skipping along to me and she said, "What would you say if I told you that somebody who works here really fancies you?" And my first thought was, "Oh, please God, tell me it's not you." No, I mean, she was perfectly nice and all that, but, you know, the bushy eyebrows and the dark set moustache was a bit of a deal breaker for me. But of course, imagine my surprise when she told me that it was the gorgeous young receptionist, Jess. And I thought to myself, wow, there is this stunningly beautiful young woman, clearly with bad eyesight and poor judgment. That's exactly what I was looking for. So I feel like it was a right result. What a score. And so we went on our first date after I asked her out on the 4th of May 2003 at the Comedia Comedy Club. And of course, we've shared many laughs since. A fantastic romance, it really was, filled with pub lunches, picnics in the park, and even a day spent on Brighton Nudist Beach, completely stripped down to the nines. Oh yes. Of course, Jess kept her pants on because she was a bit shy. Me, I didn't care. I was stark-bollock naked, standing there, casting a sideways profile shadow, looking like the world's smallest sundial. And so, after 6 weeks, joy turned to sadness and grief with the death of my brother, Colin. Colin was a wonderful, inspirational soul, a true conspiracy theorist, the original conspiracy theorist. He was attacked one night after I picked him up from work and we went to a 24-hour petrol station where he was approached from behind by a coward he never knew, who, as he turned round, punched him in his left temple. My brother Colin spent 4 days in a coma and lost his life, so tragically. And of course, throughout that devastating period of my life, and the court case for manslaughter that ensued, this incredible woman became my rock, my emotional support, and my shoulder to cry on. Just 2 years later, a very good friend of mine and my family, Joe Nixie, was killed tragically and horrifically in a head-on car collision with an impact speed of over 130 miles an hour. A tragic time and waste of a young life that took the lives of both drivers and our friend Joe, who was the front seat passenger. And so soon, and once again, this incredible woman was my rock, my emotional support, and my shoulder to cry on. 2 years later, on the 15th of October 2007, I received a phone call from my sister Carol up in Liverpool, who said I needed to make the 300-mile journey in breakneck speed to be by my dad's bedside and say my final farewells. My dad was a warrior, fighting the system at every turn and protecting people's rights. He was somebody I aspired to become, a true gent, a true soul, a beautiful man. He'd woken up that morning and decided he wasn't feeling very well. So rather than go to the doctor, who would then send him on to the hospital, he decided to cut out the middleman, went straight to hospital, and by lunchtime, they'd placed him into an induced coma, and by tea time, they'd wired him up to an injection driver of midazolam and morphine in what was then known as the Liverpool Care Pathway. I made the journey in breakneck speed and got to his bedside just 10 minutes before he took his final breath. I got to say how much I loved him. He was just 62 years old when he died. I say died, murdered by the state, euthanized. Too much trouble, no doubt. And once again, this incredible woman, my wife, only this time whilst 8 months heavily pregnant, once again became my rock, my emotional support, and my shoulder to cry on. Just 3 months later, on my 40th birthday, my other dad, my stepdad, a man I had called dad for over 30 years, a true warrior, a man who taught us all about peace and love and respect and kindness and generosity, a man I aspired to emulate. He became ill after he suffered a very minor stroke, was taken into hospital where he spent 7 weeks, being unbeknownst to us, starved and dehydrated through incompetence. He was finally finished off after 7 weeks with midazolam and morphine. And once again, true devastation. He died just hours before his 61st birthday. So young, so unnecessary. And once again, this incredible woman became my rock, my emotional support, and my shoulder to cry on. A few years later, my Uncle Mike in Liverpool, whilst decorating his daughter's house, suddenly dropped dead from an aneurysm out of the blue on his daughter's kitchen floor. He was also a warrior, fighting the system, standing up for people's rights, and a man I aspired to emulate. Another coffin for me to bear on my weary shoulder, and another opportunity for this incredible woman to become my rock, my emotional support, and my shoulder to cry on. Last year, I attended 3 funerals, starting in January with my good friend Trevor, who, having had underlying health conditions, decided to get himself fully jabbed and died on Christmas Day, suddenly and unexpectedly, 2022. Another funeral, another opportunity for this incredible woman to become my rock, my emotional support, and my shoulder to cry on. Just a few weeks later, my good friend Lee, after being fully jabbed, acquired turbo cancer of the brain, tumours popping up over the course of months. A truly sad occasion. I of course, was by his bedside that evening when he was finished off with midazolam and morphine. His brother, Adam, is here today, who I love very much, and there's been one of my closest friends for the past 25 plus years, carried my brother's coffin, and now I found myself carrying his. And once again, this incredible woman became my rock, my emotional support, and my shoulder to cry on. In October last year, my mum, who suffered from motor neuron disease, sadly choked to death after a lump in her throat became dislodged. Again, sadness all around, very little sign of joy, and another opportunity for this incredible woman to become, once again, my rock, my emotional support, and my shoulder to cry on. So, I think you'll all agree, ladies and gentlemen, that either Jess is the greatest woman a man could ever wish to have by his side in times of great woe and grief, or she's a fucking jinx. I'll be honest, I don't know. The jury's still out. I'll be honest. But I have so much to thank this incredible woman for. My dear wife, I want to thank you, first of all, for taking my advice all those years ago, just after we got together, after I encouraged you to cancel your Specsavers appointments, because I told you that I look so much better ever so slightly blurred. I feel it's played an important role as I've got older in the longevity of our relationship. I also want to thank you for not throwing up the first time you saw me naked. Although literally rolling on the floor laughing was a little bit hurtful. But I want to thank you for some of the many things that you taught me over the past 21-year trial period. And I appreciate 21 years is a very long time, but you've got to be sure, isn't it? No sense rushing into these things. I want to thank you for teaching me how to withstand the most extreme terrain, shall we say, by ensuring that every single shoe, boot, trainer and flip-flop you own is strewn about every walkway of the house, so that when I do trip over and almost break a hip, that I may learn to pick myself up and dust myself off as I hobble in excruciating pain towards my destiny. I thank you so much for the metaphor. But I also want to thank you for teaching me that when stepping on an upturned 3-inch heel whilst wearing only cheap thin Poundland socks, it is indeed inappropriate to scream the words, "Fuck you!" in the presence of a 6-year-old autistic boy. Fuck you, Bob, fuck you, Dad, fuck you. Thank you so much for that incredible and wonderful parental adjustment learning opportunity. Much appreciated. But I also want to thank you for teaching me how to withstand the most extreme changes in climate. When, on the coldest night since records began, you decided to steal the entire duvet and proceeded to wrap yourself up like a Greek sausage roll with a 10.5 top pastry, thereby presenting me with the opportunity to learn how to fashion an elongated scrotum into an emergency sleeping bag. A skill I feel will serve me well as we march on towards the next ice age. And so I thank you so much. Thank you for everything you've done for me. Thank you for being there for me. Thank you for being my love, my life. Thank you for the banter and the laughs we shared, and for the beautiful children you've given me, and the ugly one. Oh, Did I go too far? Sorry, kids. Sorry. But if you have to ask, probably you. So. Seriously, thank you for everything. You are my love, my life, my honey pie, and now my wife. And I thank you so much. I love you. So, I'm going to introduce these incredible guys here, Victorious, who are going to play our first dance as a married couple. As I say, these guys are heroes of ours. The song we have chosen is a song they used to sing often, and Jess used to follow them round Brighton whilst they flash mobbed everybody, the sleeping many, shall we say. They are truly fantastic and talented. They really are, and I am honoured to have them as friends. I truly am. I know I speak for Jess when I say that. So thank you guys so much. Thank you for the effort you put in for us. Thank you for being there for us. So the song we have chosen is, of course, one called Dancer Encore. A great song, those who know it. And it's in 3 parts. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to move these chairs out the way, out of the tent, and then Dancer Encore will start, and it's in 3 parts. So the first part is a slow part, which is the bit for me and Jess to start dancing.
Well, for Davey anyway.
Then it gets a little bit funkier, and that's the bit where you lot all come in and start joining in and dance with us too. And then, of course, we've got the third part, the final part, which is the polka at the end, where everyone just goes absolutely mental. Dance like nobody's watching. Okay, so without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, should we take these chairs out? Sorry. Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen,
Yeah,
where's my
Paul,
wife?
just put that on there.
She ran off already. Right, so ladies and gentlemen, it's time to present to you the greatest freedom music band in the world. No pressure. Ladies and gentlemen, please clap your hands, stamp your feet, scream, whistle and whoop for the one, the only, Victorious!
No, yes, indeed. We want to dance and sing in harmony, to hug our friends and even enemies, to live our lives with some humanity. No, yes, indeed. We want to dance and sing in harmony, to hug our friends and enemies. Like a dance, we need our freedom, never meek or too obedient. We've not given out agreement.